Colleagues, that was a very rich and very productive discussion you had, and I'm really delighted about this webinar. Thank you, therefore, to the organizers for the invitation for me to deliver the closing remarks on using the Global Tobacco Industry Interference Index for advocating for stronger tobacco control and advancing the implementation of Article 5.3 of the WHO FCTC. I'm certain that these lessons will be very useful to counter tobacco industry interference in the environment sector, especially in light of the industry positioning itself as a champion of sustainable practices. Article 5.3 of the WHO FCTC is a provision which embodies a profound distrust about the motives of the tobacco industry, and the industry's recent transformation for the good heightens the need to be alert to efforts undertaken to undermine or subvert tobacco control policies. Colleagues, the tobacco industry performing well on the environmental, social, and governance indicators is akin of a wolf in a sheep's clothing. One must not forget that the industry's tactics and interference with public policymaking are aimed at increasing tobacco and nicotine consumption and are detrimental not only to public health, but also to the environment. While the negative health implications of tobacco are well known, its environmental impact is often less discussed. The fact remains that cultivating and processing tobacco itself significantly destroys forests, damages soil, and depletes water supplies. And let me offer some hard facts for your consideration. 22 billion tons of water used in tobacco production globally every year. 3.7 liters of water is used to make one cigarette. Approximately 200,000 hectares of land are cleared for tobacco agriculture and curing each year, and about 4.5 trillion cigarette butts are discarded. The misleading response from the industry is aptly captured in a September document titled Reduce Post-Consumer Waste Strategy by Philip Morris International, wherein the company emphasizes its commitment to address the environmental impact of its products by embedding eco-design and circularity principles in their development and end-of-life management. In this document, the industry claims that the main constituent of cigarette filters is cellulose acetate, which, contrary to common belief, biodegrades over several months or years and does not accumulate in the environment over time. We all know this is nonsense. This is not true. Cigarette butts can remain present in the environment for a very long time and release heavy metals and nicotine into the ecosystem. This is a classic tactics of the tobacco industry trying to twist, turn, and manufacture scientific evidence to its advantage when there is none. We have called upon appropriate ministries and policymakers to treat cigarette filters as single-use plastics and consider banning these to protect public health and the environment. And we're very happy to work with UNEP and many, many others for a legally binding treaty on this. To make space for tobacco growing and to obtain wood for curing, trees must be cut down and land cleared. Approximately 1 tree is needed to make 300 cigarettes. In line with Articles 17 and 18 of the WHO FCTC, our team at the World Health Organization headquarters is leading an ambitious project in Kenya called tobacco-free farms, with the aim to convince farmers to abandon tobacco production and grow high iron-based beans as an alternative crop. Colleagues, considering global challenges like food insecurity and the climate crisis, the decision for policymakers should be simple. We need trees and cultivable land for our future generation and not resources wasted on manufacture of tobacco products. The Tobacco-Free Farms initiative has already faced significant tobacco industry interference following the success of the first season, which supported farmers to switch to a specific variety of high iron beans. The project team discovered that the tobacco company had purchased all available stores of that same seed in the region. In response to this disruption, the team introduced another bean variety to farmers with similar health benefits and managed to support over 1,000 farmers in its second season despite tobacco industry interference. These examples highlight the enormity of the task at hand in countering the tobacco industry and the need for whole-of-government accountability. We heard success stories of the impact of the Global Tobacco Index from Côte d'Ivoire, Mexico, Zambia, Bolivia, Nigeria, Brazil, Kenya, Argentina, and Uganda. These stories are very encouraging, and more countries should effectively operationalize Article 5.3 of the WHO FCTC in line with its legal traditions and history of tobacco control. I congratulate the Global Center for Good Governance in Tobacco Control for its exceptional work in publishing the Tobacco Industry Interference Index that assists so many tobacco control advocates in low and middle income countries to promote, develop, and implement WHO FCTC compliant policies. It's so important for the tobacco control community to use all arrows in our quiver to counter the tobacco industry. Thanks once again for the invitation, and I hand back to the moderator. Thank you so much.